if you go back and see that, if you go back and look at, what we did, we had this space, and we used that space to cut down corporate taxes. That's a supply side solution. You cut down corporate tax to cut down the cost of doing business, and you hope that sometime in the future that decline in the cost of doing business will start easing the supply side. But the problem is demand side. That's the dominant driver. So the question is, yes, you can use the space, you should use the space, but the point is you need to also choose the right instrument. And the consensus view is that the dominant driver of India's growth slowdown is on the demand side, then the actual instrument on the tax side that should be used is a demand side instrument, which is, just cut GST by an equivalent amount. And more importantly, you could have made the GST tax cut temporary, so that in 2 years' time that GST tax cut would once again reverse. Instead of that, we did a permanent tax cut by permanently lowering the fiscal, the fiscal deficit, permanently lowering the tax revenue, on the hope that this supply side easing might, in the future, and we don't even know when in the future, it could actually go and boost corporate investment. That's a very, very tall order.
So then beyond that now, I mean, you wouldn't see any room for either personal income tax cuts. Some people have said, more cash transfers, although even the farm cash transfers that have been designed have not really worked, right?
Again, if you look at what are the solutions that work in these kinds of, emergency situations, it's typically something that boosts consumption. And the usual way of boosting consumption is you cut indirect taxes and you make it time-bound, so that people do not say that they have an infinite amount of time to make their purchases. It's a 2-year window within which you basically get a 20%, 25% decline in the price of the goods that you're buying. If you don't buy it within that 2-year period, that window is gone. So most households are rational and they do that. So I think, again, I'm going back to the same problem, which is this a demand side problem or is it a supply side problem? Again, whether it's structural, cyclical, that's a separate issue. Is it a demand side or supply side problem? If we continue to believe that these are supply side issues, we will be taking supply side measures, and those are maybe the right measures to take, but they are not going to have very much of an effect in the very near term.